The girl glanced at the math problem on the blackboard, then turned and followed her grandmother out of the classroom. She mentioned that the problem on the board was wrong. Her grandmother asked the little girl in surprise. She explained that the problem was missing necessary symbols. It couldn't be solved at all. Hearing the girl's explanation, her grandmother turned around and led her back to the classroom. It turned out this 7-year-old girl was a math prodigy. An MIT math professor had given her a world-class problem to test her abilities. The little girl corrected the errors in the problem, and then worked out the correct answer. The math professor was completely stunned. This problem had stumped the entire math department for 20 years. The girl's brilliance was deeply connected to her family history. Her name was Mary, and her mother had been a renowned mathematical genius, who chose to end her own life at just 27. Mary had been living with her uncle Frank since she was little. When Mary reached school age, Frank enrolled her in a regular elementary school, specifically telling her to keep a low profile on the first day. But in her very first class, she left the teacher speechless. How could a genius possibly fit into ordinary schooling? The arrival of a middle-aged woman would completely change Mary's fate. This woman was Mary's grandmother, Evelyn. Learning that Mary possessed the same mathematical gift as her mother, she secretly resolved to properly nurture Mary's talent. The next day, Evelyn discussed Mary's education with Frank. Their educational philosophies clashed immediately. Evelyn believed Mary had the potential to become a great mathematician, while Frank couldn't provide the quality of life and learning environment she needed. Frank disagreed with his mother's views. He felt his sister Diane's tragedy was indirectly caused by their mother. He wanted Mary to have a normal childhood, not one consumed by mathematics. When Evelyn couldn't convince Frank, she decided to take legal action to fight for Mary's custody. In court, both sides stood their ground. Evelyn's lawyer painted a picture of Frank's inability to nurture a genius, emphasizing that only Evelyn could provide top academic resources and a bright future for Mary. Frank's lawyer attempted to prove that Evelyn's educational approach was seriously flawed and had once led to tragedy. The judge leaned toward Evelyn's argument, believing Mary's gift belonged to the world and needed special cultivation. As a temporary measure, Mary was placed with a foster family, with Frank only having visitation rights. This left both Mary and Frank devastated.